Artbreeder a good AI generator for authors to be using to create character art? Now, we have a full playlist on AI and publishing where we talk about the legal, the creative, and the ethical side of using AI. So make sure you watch all of that. We bring a lawyer into it. We got all the vibes for you. But we want to talk specifically about how and when authors can be using something like Artbreeder to create character art, because there are capacities that you can and capacities that you cannot be using this artwork in. So through the terms of service of Artbreeder, you do have the ability to use this artwork commercially. However, we have a lot of ethical implications here. So you want to make sure when any of you are using any type of content creator for you, you are reading the terms of service so that you know if it's commercial use or not. So technically speaking, you can create this artwork and then use it in specific capacities that are more commercial. You can technically use them on your book covers and for printed things that you're giving out in your Kickstarter or at book signings. You can technically use it for a lot of things, but if you use it on something like your book cover, it nullifies your copyright protection of your book cover. So you don't want to do that. Even though you technically can, it's going to hurt you in the long run. We also have the ethical side of it, which is an entire different conversation that we are not having in my comments here. So don't get in there and have this conversation, but you have to go through that conversation if you're going to use this publicly. Now, I like the ability to create character art. I do create character art of my characters, and I put it on the screen of my computer while I write it. This is a really good opportunity to use something like Artbreeder so that I can know exactly what my character's looking like when I'm writing the book. So I do not forget the eye color. So I don't forget the way that the hair swoops, so that I don't forget whatever I'm creating with that. I will have that noted on this artwork. If they have scars or if they have freckles or if they have things, I know what's what. And if they get injured along the way, then I can add it to the picture. So I have that up as a really good reference point while I'm writing. Now, I also use this artwork on my website so that people can know what those characters look like, but it's not the only thing I have on my website. I do not exclusively rely on AI-generated art for this. And the AI-generated art that I use, and that's solely in that headshot version of this, I am heavily also editing that inside of Photoshop. So I'm changing it so it looks more realistic. I am heavily manipulating it. So it has the base of the AI generated art, but I also do a ton of work to it to get it to look what I need it to look like. And I put this on my website so people can see them. But I have also hired artists. I have artists that work for me. I have fans that send in artwork. I have a ton of artwork from all over so that I am actively contributing to this community while also having those reference points and having a very standardized look for those across the board. Now, you can do other things with some of this artwork. You can print it out and give it away. You can include it in your Kickstarters, as some people do. But a lot of that comes down to the ethical side of things. So you want to be very smart about how you do this. Artbreeder is a really good resource. I feel the best resource for creating reference art while you're writing your book. And then anything outside of that is a good opportunity for you to explore the ethical side of this and where you sit on a lot of this and a lot of the conversations we're having in the book community. Just because you feel comfortable with something doesn't mean the majority of people feel comfortable with it, and it could backfire on you. So you have to be careful in the capacities that you are using these in, and you also want to be careful of how you're doing them. This can be a really good opportunity for you to create reference art to then give to your cover designer so that they can go and find the good stock images or take the great photos that they can then build into it without using the AI art, but they know what it looks like so that they can create something that references the correct jawline or the correct hairstyle or whatever it happens to be. So these are really good reference points and things that people can look at, but you have to be careful where you're using them. If you're printing them inside of your books, it could nullify your copyright protection of that book. If you're using on the book covers, that could be a problem as well. So you want to be very aware of how you're managing the use of this, but it is a really fun opportunity for you to do some really cool manipulation of a piece of artwork so you can create something that is a good reference point for you while you're writing and for showing your fans if that's something that you want, as long as you are aware of the ramifications and the outcomes of using these and how you're using these. If you are going to be using this in a capacity that is forward facing to the world, I also recommend that you are also working with professional artists. You are getting representations of your art from human people so that you've got at least at minimum a mix of both, if not heavily leaning toward the human side of things, because the book world has a lot of strong feelings about this. So you can do a lot with this. This is going to give you a lot of great opportunities, and it can also help you to build up other artwork that you are getting in from that human person who is going to be creating art for you, whether it's a fan or a professional that you're hiring. You can use these, and it blew up on TikTok a long time ago. People started talking about Artbreeder, and it got really popular for a while, and now it has died off. So if that is a company you want to work with, if that is a program that you want to implement into your writing strategy, it's a good opportunity for you. But you have to make sure you understand how to use it appropriately for your business. And appropriately is a term that is going to be a little bit different for each person based on ethics and standards and where we stand within the community. So make sure you pay attention to those things before you make your decisions. But at bare minimum, it's a fun program to use for reference images, so you know what your characters look like while you're writing, and to give to your artists so that they know what types of things you're looking for in the creations that they are making for you on your behalf. Drop your questions on this down below and follow along for other tools, subscriptions, resources that authors are using to help level up their writing and their publishing business, so that this is your most profitable year ever in the publishing world, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make sure you are saving time and effort and stress when it comes to your content creation and the profit that you're making. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.